Hello, I am Dr. Bree, and today I have a really cool standing routine for chronic butt clenchers. Who can relate? Who feels like their butt muscles are often tight and maybe the back of the pelvic floor is often tight? I did a recent Instagram poll and found that over 75% of my audience on Instagram said that they were butt clenchers. So you may have pelvic tension if you're a butt clencher, you may have pelvic pain, you may have painful sex, you might have chronic constipation, and you might find yourself standing like this a lot with your butt tucked under or your hips thrust forward, or you might slouch in your chair a lot. All of these things happen when we're chronic butt clenchers. So let's go ahead and release the butt. We're gonna release everything today with this standing routine. You may need a chair or something to hold on to for support like a countertop. And a lot of you have said that you love standing workouts because you don't wanna get on the ground. So this is for you. All right, let's begin with a few tiny little mini air squats. So stand with your feet about, little more than shoulder width distance apart. Your toes can be turned a tiny bit outward or forward, either one. So you're simply going to reach your butt back just a few inches. It doesn't need to be super deep. And then you're gonna stand up. Let's try that again. Reach your butt way back and feel like you are actually reaching your tailbone toward the back of the room or even up toward the ceiling. So don't clench. This is so easy to do. You want to untuck your bum, okay? Sit way back. Make sure you can lift your tiptoes up off the ground and then stand up. Now, you might be saying, Bree, I thought we were releasing the butt muscles, and squats strengthen and tighten up the butt muscles. Well, tight muscles are not strong. Tight muscles actually need to strengthen a little bit. So we want to be sure that we start with some activation, some strengthening for these muscles that are tight, but they're really weak. So we're activating the muscles, we're turning them on. We're bringing blood flow to the area. We're waking them up. And this is all going to ultimately help release those tight butt muscles. So let's do like 3 more. Again, make sure you're really sitting back. You can lift your tiptoes up off the ground. You're untucking that tailbone. Last one. And really exhale when you come up to stand. Okay, nice job. Shake it out. Circle out your hips a few times. And now I want you to just stand. Just stand and feel as if you can imagine that your tailbone was releasing back behind you. So the tailbone, this area back here in the back of your pelvis, this is the front of your pelvis, and this is the back. Think of this tailbone. Below your sacrum is your coccyx, your tailbone. Imagine it lifting up toward the sky. You can also imagine that you're like a peacock with peacock tail feathers flowing out behind you, unfurling behind you, peacock tail feathers. Take a big, deep, deep breath. And now we're gonna do a chair, cat, and cow. So by chair, I just want you to have a sturdy chair. You can have a couch, you can have a countertop, but have something that you can rest your hands on. Inhale, exhale, hinge at your hips and bend your knees. Really sit your butt back. This is not a time to be like this. You wanna let that butt be proudly sticking back. Don't be shy. Now, in this position, knees are bent, and you can have your elbows on the chair or the countertop or your hands, but you are going to inhale, arch your back, stick your butt up toward the sky, and really just wiggle it back and forth a little bit. On your next exhale, tuck your butt under and let your back round like a Halloween cat, a scared Halloween cat. And see how my belly draws in toward my spine. My pelvic floor lifts like a kegel. And now inhale, release. Breathe deeply into your belly and just wiggle your hips back and forth a few times. And on your next exhale, tuck the butt under you, tailbone tucks under, belly and pelvic floor lift. And one more round. Inhale, release. Wiggle the sitting bones up toward the sky. Let the tailbone reach toward the sky. Knees are bent. You're looking up. And last time, exhale. Tuck the butt under. Lift the pelvic floor and the belly toward the spine. And then come back to neutral. Okay, now stand up for a second. This next move is a puppy pose. And you can do it in two different ways. You can do it right here. It's just a simple puppy pose. And I'll show you the more deep way. So for this puppy pose, you're gonna wanna inhale, exhale all your air out, hinge at your hips, and you're gonna come down onto your elbows. So your butt really needs to be lifting toward the sky. Try not to hunch or round your back. Your knees can be bent, but you want your back to be flat. Again, do not do this. Bend your knees as much as possible, or as much as you need to find that position where your tailbone is reaching toward the sky and your back is flat, not rounded. Maybe you're up here, and that's okay, but maybe you're down on your elbows. Breathing deeply. You can turn your toes in and your heels out just a little bit, and that can help widen the sitting bones apart and release your pelvic floor and your tailbone. So breathe deeply in this puppy pose. Breathing. Imagine that there was a big flower, a big rose in your pelvic floor and your butt cheeks. And imagine that rose going into full bloom. It's blossoming into full bloom. Or you can imagine lungs in your pelvic floor, in your butt cheeks, and imagine lungs that are breathing into that area. Try not to crank your neck up. Just look down toward the seat of your chair or look forward. And now, maybe come up onto your hands if you are at the seat of your chair, or if you're at the back of your chair, then you don't need to change anything. I want you to turn your toes, make sure they're turned in just a little bit, toes in, heels out, and just bend your knees a couple inches and then straighten them. Bend and straighten. And this is just opening your pelvic floor, the back part of your pelvic floor, and it's stretching out your hamstrings too. So bend and straighten. You don't have to bend super deep. It's just a little bend and then straighten and breathe. So we have this hip internal rotation. We have the flexion and the extension. We are moving and working so many parts of the hip and pelvic floor right now. Make sure that your back is straight and you're not rounding or hunching like this. You are straight. Let's do two more. Last one. And then turn your feet forward. And the last thing we're going to do in this kind of L type of position is you are simply going to bend your knees just a tiny bit and just rock back, feeling like you're lifting your pelvic tailbone up toward the sky as you rock back. So rock back as far as you can, lifting that tailbone up toward the sky, and then come forward. So rock back, lift, 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 lift the tailbone, and then come forward. And again, lift, 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 lift the tailbone, and come forward. Let's do it two more times. If you want to widen your feet, you can, just a little bit. Knees are a tiny bit bent, and you are lifting, 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 lifting. What you'll notice is that your tailbone probably wants to start tucking under. Don't let it. You want to rock back as far as you can, keeping your tailbone lifted toward the sky. Last time. Lift, 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 lift. And release. Good job. It's harder than it looks. Now shake it out and then place your hands on your thighs and come up to stand. If your back is feeling a little something, then you want to be careful. You want to make sure that next time you do this video, maybe you gently pull your tummy in just a little bit, your low abs, just to protect your back. You shouldn't be feeling any pain. This should be stretching your hips and not tweaking or pinching your back. So circle out your hips. And now you're going to want to definitely have your chair turned around for this one. So exhale with exertion. Make sure that you're using good body mechanics for your pelvic floor, never holding your breath. And we're going to do a figure 4 stretch for the outer hip and glute area. So what this stretch looks like is bringing a foot up onto your thigh like this. So I'm going to show you from the side. We bring the foot just above the knee and holding on to the chair. Your bottom foot is grounded on the floor and you sit back just a little bit. This might be as far as you can go, and that's okay. This is a big stretch. If you can go a little farther, you can. Just be sure that this doesn't happen. You want to untuck your bum and really sit back. Also make sure that your knee on the ground, on the bottom leg, isn't being weird and wonky and going out or in. You want to make sure your knee and your foot are basically pointed straight ahead and you're sitting your butt straight back. Imagine like there's a flower blooming in full bloom on this side, or that you have lungs in this butt cheek. Okay, let's release that stretch. Come on up and just shake out the leg. Shake, 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 shake. Let it vibrate all the way from hip to foot. Oh, maybe go in and out a few times and then just shimmy shake. And we're going to do the other side. Let your butt jiggle and wiggle. Okay, other side. So for me, it's my right foot goes above my left knee. Foot is grounded on the floor. Inhale, exhale all the air out. Hinge at the hips. Maybe you're just here and that's okay. Maybe your knee is even kind of here and that's okay too. If this is where you are and the knee is really high, that's okay. But we want to work toward getting that knee down and sitting back a little farther. Remember, don't let this happen. You want to release the butt straight back and the tailbone lifts toward the sky. All of this is helping my chronic butt clenchers. If you want, you can even reach back and feel like you're grabbing your sitting bone and kind of gently pulling it out to the side, and then doing the same thing on the other side. Grab your sitting bone, your butt bone, and feel like you're gently pulling it out to the side the other way. So they're kind of like pulling apart. Sometimes it even helps when you're stretching to rub and tap on the part that you're stretching. Make sure you're not overly, rounding your back, but also not overly arching your back. If you need to gently pull your belly toward your spine to protect your back, that's fine. Just make sure that you don't pull it so hard in that you end up going like this. So release back, one more breath. And come on up, and just like we did on the other side, shake out that leg. Ooh, let it vibrate all the way from hip to foot and shimmy it out. Nice job. Our last exercise is a visualization along with an exercise. You're gonna think of your tailbone, and I want you to imagine that you're drawing your name in cursive on the wall behind you. So whatever your name is, write your name on the wall behind you with your tailbone. So it's gonna take a lot of imagination here, but just have fun with this. So tailbone releases back, knees can be bent to allow for more movement at your hips, and you're gonna write your name with your tailbone. So you don't have to use a chair, but maybe you want to. You can go. I'll do mine. Laugh with this a little, it's fun. I'm pretty sure that that was a really bad rendition of my name, but I tried. So just write your name, have fun with this, play with it, and now shake it out. Let your butt muscles jiggle, your glutes. Oh, good job. That was fun, huh? So for my chronic butt clenchers, just know you're not alone, and know that it is important to untuck that butt so that you can release those muscles so that they can become strong, because tight muscles are not strong, they're weak. And also so that you can have good pelvic floor health, good posture, less back pain, all the things. So unclench your butt. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody who needs it, and check the video description for more ways we can work together. Until next time, remember to eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter. Bye.